It is time to say welcome to you, my friend. It is time to say welcome to you, my friend. It is time, it is time, it is time to say welcome to everyone. Once again, we give thanks to God Almighty for counting us worthy and for giving us a good day to gather together once again. We give him all thanks. He's keeping us all safe. Glory be to his holy name. So this week, as we all know, we're celebrating the nurses all over in the world. So we are grateful for all they do to all patients, to us. Once in a while, we go for checkup. So we are grateful for their strength, empathy, wisdom, patience, kindness, compassion, and knowledge. And on this occasion, we wish them success in all their endeavors. In Jesus' name. So let's go into our recitation. Let's read our recitation. Let's read it together. Who am I? Yes, read it loud. I'm a genius kid with positive pride. I don't allow bully. I will strive to fulfill my destiny. So help me God. So this is our preamble for today's story. You can see this picture. What is this image about? Can you see this image? The first one I'm touching. What is this image? Somebody can talk. Miracle, what's this image? Go ahead.
The image is a bat.
Okay, and the second one is what?
The second one is a goat. The
And
third one is a turtle.
okay, and the next one is what?
A turtle eating.
Yeah, thank you, Miracle. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So I have here that tortoise is a wise animal. In Yoruba, we say Ìjàpá ẹranko ọlọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀wẹ̀. And in Spanish is La Tortuga Animal Sabo in Spanish. Okay? So let's go into today's story. Will we tell our story, story? Will we tell our story, story? Will we tell our story, story? Story, story, story. Once upon a time, there was once an old mother sheep who had 7 lambs. How many lambs do I say? How many lambs does the mother sheep have? Go ahead.
7.
Okay,
7.
7. 7.
Okay, thank you. The mother goat have 7 lambs. And one day, the bat who was about to make a visit to his father-in-law, who lived a long day march away, went to the old sheep and asked her to lend him one of her young lambs to carry his load for him. At first, the mother sheep refused, but as the young lamb was anxious to travel and see something of the world, and begged to be allowed to go. At last, the mother sheep reluctantly consented. So in the morning, at daylight, the bat and the lamb set off together on the journey. The lamb carrying the bat drinking on. This is the picture of the drinking on. When they reached halfway, the bat told the lamb to leave the horn underneath a bamboo tree. Why this? Let's keep following the story. What did the bat say to the lamb? What did the bat say to the lamb? What should the lamb do? I mean, what should the lamb do? What should the lamb do? What did the bat say? Tell the lamb to do. Who is helping out? Okay, let's continue. When the lamb had gone, the father-in-law brought him food, and the bat ate it, leaving nothing for the lamb. When the lamb returned, the bat said to him, "Hello, you have arrived at last.
Huh?
I see, but you are too late for food. It is all finished." He then sent the lamb back to the tree, went with the horn, and when the lamb returned again, it was late, and he went supperless to bed. That is, he did not eat before he goes to the bed. The next day, just before it was time for food, the bird sent the lamb off again for the drinking on. And when the food arrived, the bird who was very greedy ate it all a second time. This is the behavior of the bat. This mean behavior on the part of the bat went on for 4 days. How many days? How many days was the bat behaving like that to the lamb?
4 days.
Yes, thank you. Until at last the lamb became quite thin and weak. The bat decided to return home the next day, and it was all the lamb could do to carry his load. When he got home to his mother, the lamb complained bitterly of the treatment he had received from the bat and was babbling all night, meaning she did not expect the bat to do that at all. Complaining of pain in his inside, the old mother sheep, who was very fond of her children, determined to revenge on the bat for the cruel ways he had served her lamb. She therefore decided to consult the tortoise, who, although very poor, but considered by all people to be the wisest of all animals. How did we describe tortoise? Is tortoise a wise animal or a dull animal?
The wisest.
Yes, he was wise among them. When the old sheep had told the whole story to the tortoise, he considered for some time, saying, wow, hey, and then told the sheep that she might leave the matter entirely to him, and he would take ample revenge on the bat for his cruel treatment of our son. Let's keep following. Now it happened very soon after the bat thought he would again go and see his father-in-law. So he went to the mother sheep again and asked her for one of her sons to carry his load as before. Luckily, the tortoise, who happened to be present, told the bat that he was going in that direction as well. And when they arrived, so tortoise and bat now went on their journey. And when they arrived at the halfway halting place, the bat pursued the same tactic. Who knows the tactic? What is it fond of doing? What's the bat fond of doing? Okay, that he had on the previous occasion on the lamp. He told the tortoise to hide his drinking on under the same tree as the lamb had eaten it before. This the tortoise did. But when the bat was not looking, tortoise picked up the drinking horn and hid it in his bag. When they arrived at the house, the tortoise hung the horn up out of sight in the backyard and then sat down in the house. Just before it was time for food, that bat sent the tortoise to go get drinking on. And tortoise went outside into the yard in the compound and waited until he heard that the beating of the boiled yam into fufu had finished. He then went inside the house and gave the drinking on to the bat. He was so surprised and angry. Wow. Why should he be angry? Who knows? Why was the bat angry? Why was he angry?
He was angry because he told the tortoise to hide his drinking horn and then go get it the next day, but he took it along so that he could eat all the food.
Yes. You know, as we said, that tortoise was a wise animal, so he knows his tricks, and he didn't want to fall in that trick. Okay, thank you. That's when the food was passed, he refused to eat any of it. So the tortoise ate it all. This went on for 4 days, until at last the bat became tame as the little lamb had been on the previous occasion. At last the bat could not stand the pain of his inside no longer, and secretly he told his mother-in-law to bring him food when the tortoise was not looking. He said, "I am now going to sleep for a while, but you can wake me up when the food is ready." The tortoise, who had been listening all the time, being hiding in a corner out of sight, waited until the bat was fast asleep and then carried him gently into the next room and placed him on his bed. He then very softly and quietly took off the bat's clothes and covered himself in it and lay down where the bat had been. Very soon the bat's mother-in-law brought the food and placed it next to where the bat was supposed to be sleeping. And having pulled his clothes to wake him, went away quietly. The tortoise then got up and ate all the food. When he had finished, he carried the bat back again and took some of the palm oil and fufu and placed it inside the bat's lips while he was asleep. Then the tortoise went to sleep himself. In the morning, when he woke up, the bat was more hungry than ever. And in a very bad temper, he sought out his mother-in-law and started scolding her and asked her why she had not brought his food, and he had told her to. She replied, but she brought his food and that he had eaten it. But the bat denied and scolded the tortoise of having eaten his food. Do we have questions? I see some people writing in the chat. Okay. Michael, no testing, listen, okay? The woman then said she will call the people in and they should decide the matter. But the tortoise slipped out first and told the people that the best way to find out who had eaten the food was to make both the bats and himself rinse them out with clean water into a basin. This they decided to do. So the tortoise got his toothstick, which he always used, and having cleaned his teeth properly, washed his mouth out, and returned to the house. Mr. Tortoise, the wisest among the animals. When all the people had arrived, you see what Tortoise did just now? You see what he did? He went behind to wash his mouth before the people will come and test if Bat or Tortoise is the one who has held the food. So when all the people had arrived, the woman told them how Bat had abused her. And as he still maintained her integrity, no food for 5 days, the people said that both he and the tortoise should wash their mouths out with clean water into 2 clean calabash. This was done, and at once it could clearly be seen that the birds had been eaten. As okay, sorry about that. Okay. And at once it could clearly be seen that the birds had been eaten, as there were distinct traces of the palm oil and fufu which tortoise had put inside his lips, floating on the water. That's what tortoise did for Bat when he was sleeping. Okay. The woman then said she will call the people in and they should decide the matter. But tortoise sleep out first. We do this? Okay, sorry. When the people saw this, they decided against the bat, and he was so ashamed that he ran then and there, and he has ever since always eating himself in the bush during the daylight time. Who remember our topic? What's the topic of our story? The topic of our story, who remember?
Is it why the bat is ashamed to be seen?
Yes, that's the topic. So that's how our topic, that's how we arrive at our topic. Why the bat is ashamed to be seen in the daylight. You know, they used to say, tell us the adage that bats don't like, that bats cannot see daylight. That is how where our story comes from. So let's continue. When the people saw this, they decided against the bat, and he was so ashamed that he ran away then and there, and he has ever since always eating himself in the bush during the daylight. So that no one could see him and only come out at night to get his food. The next day, the tortoise returned to the mother sheep and told her what he had done to the bat. Oh, both of them was laughing, happy, and that the bat was forever disgraced. The old sheep praised him very much and told all her friends, in consequence of which the reputation of tortoise for wisdom was greatly increased throughout the whole country. And that's how our story for today comes to an end. Do we like the story? Do we like the story?
Yes.
Yes. So now let's say what we learned. What's our take home? What do we learn from the story?
Yes.
What do we like from the story? What did we learn? Anyone can go first.
Pay attention.
Anyone can go first.
Do not be mean.
Don't be what?
Do not be mean. Mean and greedy.
Don't be mean.
Don't be mean and don't be greedy.
Do not be upset.
Do
Okay,
not
who's
give up.
talking? I want to see who's
I
talking.
agree with him.
Do not quit.
Do not. It was a Sata that said, "Do not be greedy and mean."
Go ahead, somebody else is talking. Who's talking?
It's Orike.
Oh, is that Sato? Who among the Reiki?
Osato.
Thank you, Sato. Somebody else talk.
Daddy, look.
This is for dessert.
Daddy, look. Look.
Somebody else should talk. Who else is talking? Go ahead, who's talking? I want to hear from you first what you learned. You say you like the story. See, this is the sheep with all his children, and this is the bat, the drinking on.
Okay, so what I learned from this
I answered 14 questions.
is that we should not steal, and
Let's
we
be fast.
shouldn't.
Our time is running out.
We should not steal. We should not blame others for our own responsibilities, and we should not lie
Yes,
about it.
yes. So from our story, we've seen that it's not good to be greedy. Okay, we have to consider our fellow human being. Okay, we should not be greedy. We should consider other people by being nice and kind to everyone. We are not to wear the gown of greediness. When you are in a group of people, you are with a group of people and you have food to be shared, don't take all. Let the food go equally. Okay? Let the food be shared equally. And so we learn we should not have a mean behavior. Mean behavior does not pay. We are to be very nice to each other with a good attitude, a good behavior. Okay? Because one turn deserves other. If Bat was being nice to the sheep, tortoise will not think of what to do to revenge against him. So let's always do what is right. Okay, we are children of God. And to all our viewers online, let us not wear the gown of greediness. Mean behavior does not pay. Let's be nice, okay? Because one turn deserved others. Thank you all for joining.
Yeah.
If you have any comments, question, you can talk, okay? Miracle, what do you want to tell us? Go ahead, speak. Michael, you have something to tell us? Go ahead, Michael. Michael,
I don't have anything to say today.
Same, me too.
What do you say?
I
Go ahead,
don't have
Michael, speak.
anything to
I
say.
didn't say nothing.
Yeah, I want you to tell me what you learned. What's your take
EW.
home?
I learned what my take home is that we should not lie.
Okay, and we should not be greedy.
Awesome.
My take home is you should not be greedy, or you should you should not be greedy, or you should never give up or lose or lie.
David, what's your take home? On mute, what's your take home?
David, we cannot even hear you. Yes, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my take So my take home is to not lie.
Do not lie. Who lied in our story?
I just said that. The Batman. The Bat lied.
How are you? Banky
The
Adewale.
tortoise lied.
Can you tell us something? From Banky Adewale family, can you tell us something?
Do not be
angry.
Don't be what?
Don't be angry.
Don't be greedy. Okay.
Angry.
Don't be what?
Angry.
Oh, do not get angry. Okay, Miracle. We want to hear one more thing from you.
You trying not to look.
One more thing is we should not be ungrateful for what we
What do you
have.
want to say? I want to say you're a mom.
You should not be ungrateful.
Well, you can say
Those are help us. Okay? Amanda. Speak, Amanda. Amanda.
Shut the fuck up.
Amanda, speak to us. What is your take home?
Your mom.
What's your take home?
My take home.
Jesus.
Amanda, what's your take home? Gift.
My take home is not to be greedy.
Miracle, what are you doing?
Any from someone else? Contribution. Michael, you want to say something? Osato.
My take home is that you should not be greedy. You should not be greedy. Always learn to take your own stuff, not to take someone's stuff.
Yes, thank you, Amanda.
Not be annoyed.
Yes, and do not be mean. Okay? Thank you. It is time to say bye-bye to you, my friend. It is time to say bye-bye to you, my friend. It is time. It is time to say bye-bye to everyone.
Wait.
Time to say bye-bye to you, my friend. It's time to say bye-bye to you, my friend. It is time. It is time to say bye-bye to everyone. So if you haven't finished your homework,
I haven't
try to
finished
finish
homework.
up.
I already finished my homework. Miracle dancing? I finished my homework today. TikTok did. She's like shaking her butt. And